Paul Orme. I'm the current president of Orme Ranch. I've lived here all my life.
I'm Shawn Orme, married to Paul, and my history with this beautiful spot began 51 years ago when Paul and I met, and shortly thereafter were married.
I'm Charlie Orme. I am Paul and Shawn's nephew. I have been coming here my whole life and wanted to stay on the ranch, and have been in and out of Orme Ranch my entire life.
So the Orme family arrived in the Phoenix area in the 1870s. He established a homestead in what is now the Phoenix Country Club area, basically at Thomas and 7th Street. In that area, in fact, his old house was still standing till maybe 10 years ago. So one of my favorite stories is my great-grandfather's cousin, maiden name had been Orme, had married somebody named Thomas, and he was known to kind of hang out in the local bars, and have difficulty finding his way back home. She put some signs together that just said Thomas with an arrow, that asked my grandfather to put those up in the general area, and ultimately that evolved into Thomas Road in Phoenix. My great-grandfather was very involved in agriculture, and in fact was part of the original group that burdened their lands in order to build the Roosevelt Dam. He was the first elected president of Salt River Project. He was a member of the state constitutional convention and the first state House of Representatives. So he was very much involved in the early Phoenix years in development of Phoenix, but he never lived up here. His son, his only son, my grandfather, Charlie Orme I, he began our current ranch in 1929. And he had married his college sweetheart. They had met at Stanford in Northern California, and it was a little too hot for her in Phoenix. So they found this ranch in 1929, and they moved up with their 3 children. This ranch was already in place to a very rustic degree.
The ranch was purchased in 1929, right before the Great Depression hit. And Paul's father at that time was an 11-year-old boy. And shortly thereafter, he found himself joining his father in growing carrots that served all of the Phoenix Valley of the Sun. And this was done on 12 acres of land, and every morning he would get up along with his father, and at 3 a.m. they would drive a truck full of carrots down to Phoenix. These were the only carrots in Arizona. At the end of that day, they would make that drive back home. They would pick the next day's carrots. They had to be tied into bundles, loaded into the pickup truck to be driven back down to Phoenix the following day. And the Orme School Dining Hall serves carrots at every meal.
The family had always valued education, and finding an adequate school for their children living here in 1929 was very difficult. So they made the decision to start their own, what was called a county accommodation school, principally to educate their 3 children and also the children of the ranch hands on the ranch. As it grew under the leadership of my mother and father, introduced many children to Western ranching life. And many of them rode horses for the first time, got involved in ranch chores for the first time, and they were really exposed to the ranching type of life. Some of them ultimately became ranchers. Others just grew a love for the outdoors and the natural environment. So I think that legacy of the family is very important.
I was born in 1980, and I'm fourth generation here, so I experienced a particular era of this family's ranch and the Orme School, and one of the most significant things for me was the Orme School, because I think I spent part of my youth on the East Coast and recognizing what the ranch and the Orme School was offering for kids that could experience where life is built from. Where does your water come from? Where does your food come from? All while having a classical education was really invaluable for me. And then just having the same experience with the ranch and with my family in creating helping to create a family legacy. So we're constantly thinking about how we impact the community, how we impact the natural environment, how we leave a better world, hopefully, for other generations. Those were the most significant things for me.
I'm incredibly proud of the opportunity and grateful for the opportunity to have raised 3 amazingly strong and powerful women who grew up right here. They are very impactful women, and I believe that so much of that is rooted in the fact that they were able to grow up here.
We're equally as proud of the fact we've kept this ground in agricultural production for almost 100 years. We continue to be a very effective cattle ranch, and we've been pursuing holistic resource management in our cattle program for over 30 years now, which is a way of managing the land in a very responsible way. Another thing I'm very proud of is that in the 96-year history of this ranch, we've had 4 ranch managers, 3 in my lifetime of 72 years. So I think that underscores that we provide a good working environment.
Our gratitude to certainly our most recent 2 ranch managers, Alan Kessler and Diana Kessler, and their children. Currently, our ranch manager is Enoch Maloof, his wife Dee Dawn, and their son Giles. And they all work tirelessly on behalf of our family and the ranch, and they're creative and join us in that stewardship.
And then lastly, I would say one of my most proud achievements is that in July of 2023, we entered into a conservation easement on 900 acres of our deeded land that will preserve the land in open space and agricultural production in perpetuity.
The induction into the Arizona Farming and Ranching Hall of Fame is just something to be very proud of. We're very happy and proud of just being Arizonans, and so this kind of feels like a feather in the cap, but it's also motivating to carry on as best we can.
This honor certainly recognizes and appreciates our commitment to open space and to preserving production agriculture in Arizona, and I think that's definitely something to be proud of.
I would echo all of those comments. I think one of the things I'm most proud of is that our children and their children will be able to look back on this and say, our family did something significant in the world of agriculture, and something, whether they live in the world of agriculture or not, they'll appreciate the agricultural legacy of the Orme family.